In this talk series, we first focused on COVID, natural disasters, and the purpose of a human being. Second, we focused on the topic of myself, my master, and the message to let you know who am I and my master, and what is my master's message. Third, we looked at real and unreal in evolution and delved into what were we before birth, why are we born, and what are we after our human life. Fourth, we looked at the message of truth and stressed the importance of this message as an apt method in this modern world for the humanity. Fifth, under the topic leading a life with detachment and pure love, we looked at the modus operandi to align with the evolutionary plan by changing our behavior with two baseline personalities, which are detachment and pure love. In summary, so far in this talk series, we have learned why COVID and natural disasters are impacting the humanity. We looked at how much of that I ego we developed in human life is impacting the evolution. We looked at evolution from our origin to the end. We looked at what were we before the human birth and what is there for us after death. We also looked at godly character will solve all the problems our humanity is facing today. The godly characters we looked at so far are the two baseline personalities, detachment and pure love. These two baseline personalities should remain as a base to follow other personalities of patience and tolerance, which we are going to see now. We will first discuss about patience personality and then tolerance personality. Patience is a divinely character and an important influence in the pursuit of supreme consciousness. Patience is very critical first step for crossing the human aware consciousness. In anything we do in today's world, many get agitated or opinionated or stressed or angered or frustrated or mad for that matter. When such expressions are observed by other person, the reactions as a response will be impatient or furious or violent or revengeful. Humans are easily stimulated to go against observing patience. The aspirant who is obeying the two baseline personalities we discussed before will automatically amplify the patient's behavior. This aspirant, in times of physical hurt or false accusation or revengeful act of someone or any action which stimulates to lose patience, he or she will observe pure love towards the person or being or the object causing the act of losing patience. This aspirant will observe detachment to deflect that influences against the patience. If these two baseline personalities are not present while observing patience, then that patience becomes fake with self-serving agenda. While observing patience, aspirant can control or manage the situations well by avoiding any wrongful reactions. I could cite several examples for patience character relating it to my spiritual master. To deliver the message of truth, my master, with his physical inability, has traveled several times overnight across places in South India. He would see few people show up or none at all sometimes. He steadfastly pursued this again and again without exhibiting any disappointment. I am just imagining the detachment personality he displayed, ignoring the pains and inability. I am also imagining the pure love personality he displayed, presuming the truth messages will be taken by some strangers. He displayed patience personality by traveling far and wide across South India. Another example I could cite is he has traveled so many times to do spiritual healing to others who are in distress health situation. Spiritual healing works like transferring the disease from one to other, like how a transfer of energy takes place from one medium to other medium. So if my master is healing someone, he has to take the brunt of others' diseases. Few years ago, when I visited India for my vacation, myself and my master took a public transport from Valajabad to Kanchipuram and from Kanchipuram to Borur to heal a relation of a disciple who had his gallbladder ruptured and was admitted in Sri Ramachandra Hospital in Porur, Chennai. That patient recovered eventually and lives today. This is just one of the thousands of stories I could mention. When such healings will introduce suffering to my master, he patiently pursued traveling several miles in public transport to heal a stranger whom he has never met before. I am imagining again the detachment personality he displayed, selflessly having known that he will have to take the disease and pain on himself while he is curing someone. I am also imagining again the pure love personality he displayed to heal a stranger to cure his disease. To provide this healing, the effort he took patiently by traveling in public transport several miles has inspired me immensely. To me and my organization friends, my master is surely living a life matching his preachings. When I think of the suffering he is having now, I have wondered, anybody with common sense will do this. But spirituality is beyond common sense. To scale up from human-aware consciousness and go beyond, this is the easy method for everyone to follow. For the daring one, this is easy method. For the cautious one, this personality change to go beyond human-aware consciousness is difficult. For the ignorant, this is a missed opportunity. Let us now look at observing patience more and more in our life. We are born in this world to carry out our duties as a mother, father, son, daughter, brother, sister, husband, wife, and other roles in the society. In all situations, while carrying out duties, an aspirant needs patience in handling challenges and problems accompanying it. Aspirants should exhibit detachment from behaviors like frustration, anger, annoyance, boredom, hurriedness, and tiredness while carrying out his or her duties. Aspirants should carry on with his or her duties responsibly without abstaining from duties out of love by exhibiting patience. Few in this world misinterpret patience to be ignoring the duty or abstaining from performing duties. We should not indulge in avoiding duties under the shelter of patience. We should carry on with our duties with the personality of observing patience. If aspirant sees through his or her own eyes someone committing mistakes or bad acts, aspirant should not conclude him or her to be bad. Instead, aspirant should investigate and find the reason for him or her to commit that bad action. Aspirant should follow through in all situations to change and correct the course of that person committing the bad acts. Detachment to the person's mistakes and out of love for that person committing mistakes, aspirant will be enabled to observe patience. While observing patience, aspirant can manage the situation in assisting the person to display better attitude. Aspirant should always remain alert on accompanying challenges while observing patience and carry on with his or her life duties with the two baseline intrinsic personalities, which is detachment and pure love. True patience is not possible without these two baseline personality qualities. With this, I will wrap up the message on important patience personality every one of us need to follow, and will move on to talking about personality of tolerance. By observing patience, aspirant may encounter severe challenges with insults, shaming, humiliation, dishonor, discredit, false accusation, which may mentally destabilize the aspirant. Aspirant should have courage to tolerate that mental or physical hurt. Aspirant should not lose the control and should adhere to the stated goal of observing tolerance. Aspirants should observe this tolerance in all thoughts and actions to eventually develop an attitude of insignificance. No matter whether it is a problem situation or a happy situation, aspirants should not be perturbed in any situation to observe tolerance. With perseverance of this tolerance attitude, aspirant will develop tolerance as a natural quality gifted to him or her by nature. This tolerance is the difficult step and a test to pass for an aspirant to excel in the path of progressing spiritually. What we mean by progressing spiritually is the aspirant attaining spiritual gains to reach a state of moksha or mukti after human life. If you wonder what is it, moksha is an intermediary state of remaining as an angel in heavens, and mukti is the final state in spiritual progress, which is a merger with God or supreme consciousness. Each state confirms no rebirth in earth's soil. Tolerance also can be equated to infinite patience or extreme patience in all thoughts and actions. Tolerance also can be described as a peak or highest threshold of patience. When aspirant observes patience to the completeness, tolerance personality will register in aspirant's nature as a permanent character. What epitomizes the tolerance character is the exhibition of patience by observing inherently two baseline personalities of detachment and pure love. To quote an example of a tolerance as a character, a tolerant aspirant, while helping a patient with contagious diseases like flu, cold, cholera, or any contagious virus, will not have the fear of these diseases. The detachment personality from self-protection and the pure love personality towards the patient who is in dire need of aspirant service will overcome that fear. Having come this far by observing tolerance, patience with underlying detachment and pure love personalities, aspirant will now face real life challenges. This can be said as a real life test or God testing the aspirant's ability for spiritual quest. Most of the time, observing tolerance will push the aspirant to the state of hopelessness, as the hardship he or she will be subjected to will be unbearable. The aspirant observing maximum tolerance will be termed as an outcast or loser in the society. Aspirant will be looked upon as unreliable to the society, unreliable to the family, and in many cases may be accused as mad. Even at this point, aspirants should not get frightened or lose hope and waver from any condemning label casted by the society. Aspirants should not be perturbed with any challenges posed by observing tolerance. I heard this story from my master a few times as an example of tolerance, and I was touched by the story. Once, Mother Teresa, in her early days of service to poor, as nun, approached a rich Indian businessman seeking help for enabling her financially to serve poor. She was having her palms together with hands raised and pleaded for help. That rich man, with so much of disrespect for her plead, came near her, spat on the palms angrily, and asked her to go away. Mother Teresa, out of compassion, replied, "Today this is enough. Tomorrow I will come and you can give something else." This tolerance attitude of Mother Teresa, after her ill treatment, touched the heart of the businessman, wept for her forgiveness, and did help Mother Teresa in her service to poor. Patience is the root cause of tolerance, and without these two baseline personalities of detachment and pure love, patience cannot be authentic. In this case, Mother Teresa had pure love towards the businessman and detachment from the humiliation he caused. She also observed patience, which enabled her to say, "Today this is enough, tomorrow I will come and you can give something else." This patience crossed the limits to tolerance with the humiliation she went through. Imagine this as a template, and we apply to all our interactions with people. If everyone is doing this, where is that we are going to have differences? With this, I will conclude the message of personalities needed for every human to observe patience and tolerance with underlying characteristics of detachment and pure love. In this modern world, our personality refinement is the only way to scale the consciousness beyond human. The other yoga techniques people talk about today are used as body, mind, and soul cleansing. Without these personality changes, either in the beginning or the end of those practices, how is the soul cleansing going to happen? This is the message of truth in this modern world. This is the easy path to salvation. This is the easy path to scale the human aware consciousness. This path defines us as a human to befit the qualification of being a human, because this character can be exhibited only by humans with intellect and not any other beings in earth. Our next topic of discussion will be devotion for transformation.